Can I hold your heart write me a letter, burn it in the wind. Now I can hear your heart in mine. I can hear your heart in mine. I can hear your heart in mine. I can hear your heart. Now I can hear your heart in mine. I can hear your heart in mine. I can hear your heart in mine. I can hear your heart. Now I can hear your heart in mine. I can hear your heart in mine. I can hear your heart in mine. I can hear your heart. I am only a man living in the darkness with my heart skipping beats.
All right. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Metaphysical Meetup with Marc live here on the Intuitive Prospector page. Happy holidays. I hope all of you had a wonderful, very Merry Christmas. I know that we did. It was very relaxing. We didn't go anywhere because of my surgery, but we went to a nice dinner, what we could muster up, and just celebrated Christmas the simple way. So we called all of our family and did FaceTime and what technology allows us to do. So hope you're having a wonderful holiday season. We are approaching the year of 2025. So as we close out 2024, the year of the eight, the year of the eight in a numerology standpoint is all about manifesting, making changes, transformations. In numerology, we call it the business-minded leader. So working on things for your business. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're an artist, this was a year to really, put all of your planting your seeds. So 2025 can be a year of, bringing those seeds to fruition, to bear fruit. And 2025 in numerology is known as the year of the nine, and the year of the nine is all about completion. So grab your coffee, grab your tea. Let's kick back and do a little chatting about what's coming up. I like to say that we're on the brink. That's what I've been writing my latest article. Just my newsletter went out, so if you haven't gotten my newsletter, you can always go get it right here at marclainhart.com. Got a couple cool things coming up already in 2025. I'm already starting to book out with my readings. In fact, the first Saturday of the year, I'm fully booked. But I'm doing a master class on manifesting, my spiritual development group. If you ever want to visit, just go to marclainhart.com right here, scroll down on the main page and hit the big blue diamond. That will generate an email to my manager, who can then give you visitors passes to see if you vibe with the tribe. And the tribe is international. We have people from all around the United States, Canada, the UK, Wales. And we meet on Wednesdays here via Zoom to practice spiritual development, which incorporates everything from psychic to mediumship to intuition to healing to metaphysics to phenomenon. We have discussions about what's going on in the world. And there was a quote that kind of caught my attention this morning as I was preparing for the show. Because when I do my shows do not contain any script. It's really I sit on my meditation mat right here, and I kind of tune into what's going on in the world, what's going on with the consciousness, what's going on with human beings, what's going on in society. And there's a lot going on. And then as I was gearing up for the show, there's a quote from John Lennon that says this: "The more real you get, the more unreal the world gets." And I thought about that because this last year, with everything that I've gone through with all of my major surgeries, 2 major surgeries in 8 months, that's getting real, right? That's getting real. And I just kind of look around me and just see a lot of unreal things I just cannot believe are taking place in the world, whether you're on TikTok, whether you're here on Facebook, YouTube, what's going on in the world of, just with countries and with politics and government. And it's a wild show, to be honest with you. So buckle up, because that's not going to change. And we're going to talk about being on the brink, which has a little bit to do with my article. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the Intuitive Prospector page. If you're not a subscriber, feel free to join. You can be on my Patreon Prospectors or my Diamonds Hub, which is only $4.99. You can also get on my YouTube channel now. We're about to hit 30,000 subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's awesome. And just trying to reach people, just trying to, converse with people and talk with people and get different perspectives. Because at the end of the day, we have more in common than we do apart. And I believe that social media has really caused a divide, has really, disrupted. But that's technology, right? That's us having tools that we've never had before and trying to evolve through that, not necessarily in a positive way, but a negative way. And that's going to continue into 2025. The technology is not going away anytime soon, and we're going to see more AI. We're going to see more robotics. We're going to talk about quantum computing. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in our world, and 2025 is what we call the completion year. It's the year of the snake. It's the year of the nine. And so in numerology, you go 1 through 9. And then at 9, you start back over at the year of 1. So 2026 will be the year of the 1. We start over from an energy metaphysical standpoint. So if you're one of my subscribers, love to have you join the page. I come on social media to use social media as platforms for positivity, whether it's my podcast, Inspired Living, whether it's this show, Metaphysical Meetup with Marc, or if it's, just the content that I produce for my subscribers. It's really just trying to find inspiration in the world to, one of the taglines that I've learned is be inspired, inspire others, inspire before we expire, because this journey is temporary. What we see is temporary, and there's a lot more that's going on than meets the eye. So make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We'd love to have you as a prospector. If you're on my subscribers hub, my Diamonds Hub, or my Patreon, welcome, welcome. We'll get to you with some live readings here in just a little bit. Give some shout outs. Hi, Jane. Hi, Tara. Hi, Emily. A couple of you that join me every Friday here at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I am your host. I try to be Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, Bigfoot enthusiast. Everything that is metaphysical, everything that's mysterious, everything that is curiosity. I've always been curious since I was a little kid, always exploring the world, dreaming, exploring, discovering, soul adventures, a UFO, UAP experiencer, author, podcaster, just everything that life gives us the opportunity to do. And this morning, as I was thinking about what I was going to talk about, we're on the brink. I said in the Roaring 20s, I started talking about this all the way back in 2017, 2018, and 2019, leading up to this decade. And this decade is what I would call the Roaring 20s of awakening and transformation, a raising consciousness. And that's being brought about through technology. That's being brought about. Even the James Webb Telescope now is telling us that we didn't know what we thought we knew about our own universe. We were off by billions of years. From the Big Bang that was cemented in science as foundation as being, gospel, right? Was the Big Bang theory. Well, the James Webb Telescope goes out there and says, no, the galaxy and the universe is not 9 billion years old. It's actually 13 plus billion years old. So we're off by a few billion years, right? But the James Webb is looking at everything from the makeup of our universe, things that, that we haven't understood. So as humans, we think that we know a lot, which we do. We're evolving. But if we were to classify ourselves on the civilized scale, we're less than 1 as far as advancement in technology. But the James Webb is doing some pretty interesting things, things that I've been talking about since the Roaring 20s started. I said that we would learn that we're not alone in the universe in our Roaring 20s, whether that's little green men or UFOs or UAPs. It's just interesting what's going on both coasts. We're having a lot of drone, quote unquote, drone activities. But many people believe that humanity is indeed on the brink of significant change, and for some of you that may scare you. For some of you, that may make you feel uncomfortable. My role here is not to make you feel uncomfortable. I like to talk about this content and these topics to challenge status quo, to challenge our own mindset, to challenge our belief systems, right? And just lay out things that are like a smorgasbord or a spiritual buffet. Do I know everything? Hell no. Do I know that it's right? I'm like, I'm hearing a beeping. Why am I hearing a beeping? Well, my phone is in my pocket. So let me. That was interesting. It was in my pocket. It was 1111. Interesting. Speaking of numerology, so I have my phone today to take your calls, and the Zoom link I'll get out there on the Facebook page as well. But when I talk about this stuff, I'm not trying to create I'm not trying to create divide. I'm actually trying to make unity through community, to have different perspectives, because all of you have different perspectives. Your experience is the sum of all of your experiences, right? Maybe you've never had a UFO, UAP experience like I have. I've done a lot of different things in my 50 plus years, from the Coast Guard to the fire service to the federal government. So I've seen a lot of stuff. I have a lot of education. I have a lot of wisdom and knowledge to share. But that doesn't mean that you're always going to agree with that, and that's fine. I'm not trying to create divide. I'm just trying to create conversation to get us to think bigger, because there's a lot going on, and our Roaring Twenties is going to continue, and in 2025 is going to put us right smack in the middle of the Roaring Twenties and Great Awakening transformation. Some of you are having an awakening process, and that can be very uncomfortable. But in order to think of it like the Matrix. You can't do what Neo did in the Matrix unless you unplug from the things that constantly just distract you, or things that get you riled up, that you react to versus you absorb versus observe. Those types of things. Society, technology, news cycles, media, social media. Those are all really good about getting your attention. I even have it where I hadn't done my Duolingo today, and certain timelines it sends me alert like, "Hey, keep your streak going." I'm like 625 days constant streak of learning Spanish, right, and Portuguese, and just practicing different languages. So it'll literally send me alert to be like, "Hey, you want to keep your streak active, right?" And it's like, well, yeah, I do. I want to continue. I want to get to 700, 800 days straight of just immersing myself in different languages, right? So we even have alerts set up for it to get our attention. And with AI coming and with robotics coming, it's going to get just even more Matrix style. I don't know how many of you have been talking about something. We were just talking about something, and then it comes up on my social media form. We were talking what we were just talking about. Can't remember. We were talking about something. It wasn't important, but it literally, I got on my phone. It was then streaming through my social media. So it just makes you wonder, with all the listening devices, whether it's Alexa. I've got an Alexa sitting off camera here. I changed her name from Alexa to computer, because if I say computer, then she'll turn on and respond. So she's not responding because I'm saying it lightly. But it's just like, it makes you wonder, based on the technology we have, the more connected we are, and we're more connected in history than we ever been, but we're more disconnected. So to me, that's fascinating. It's like, why are we so connected but disconnected? So many people have asked me, good morning, Wendy. Hi, Tara. Good to see you. Hi, Jolie. Many people have been asking me, as a seer, as a psychic, as a medium, because I was blessed with these gifts. They say blessed. Sometimes it's not a blessing. Sometimes it's a balance of blessings and curses with what you know or what you see coming. For example, that airplane crash that just happened, that killed a bunch of people. I saw that a few weeks ago. I actually saw that same trajectory. It's in my dream journal. I get airplane crashes all the time, but that trajectory, what I saw going down, is what I had in my dream a few weeks ago, and then it happened, and it's horrible. It's heartbreaking to watch, because I don't stand for any kind of violence. I don't stand for any kind of murder or tragic loss. That's just the world, right? But when you see stuff and stuff that's coming, it doesn't necessarily happen for us that see ahead of precognition. We see stuff and it doesn't happen that next day. It could be a week later, it could be a year later, it could be the timelines aren't matched up to our timelines, because that doesn't work with time. We're the only species that measures our life on a time construct, right? And so when you see stuff coming, you want to. I try to keep it to the positive. I don't go with gloom and doom. I know that fear sells. I don't try to move into that fear-based energy. But there are some things that are coming up that are going to be very dysfunctional, very dividing, very horrible to witness and watch. But that is always been our world. We just have social media and technology to introduce us to everything that's going on in the world. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Like, okay, I want to stop. So sometimes you have to take the time to disconnect so you can make that time to reconnect. But many people believe that humanity, as we're smack dab in the middle of 24 going into 2025. We're in that decade of the roaring 20s from 2020 to 2030, which is going to be, they're going to look back in history and say that was a very important tipping point for humanity, for consciousness, for spirituality, for awakening, for intuition. We're learning more and more about our brain. We're learning more about our abilities to use our intuition, to know things ahead of time, to use our clairs. These are things that we work on in spiritual development, is in conjunction with our five senses: see it, taste it, touch it, hear it, smell it. Most humans have that. Some people don't have those senses. Some people are blind, but they can use their ears really well. Some people are deaf, but can use their other senses really well. And the clairs are your spiritual clairs: clairaudience, clairsentience, claircognizance, clairgustance, clairfactory, the abilities to go beyond your senses, right? Those are called the clairs. But a lot of people are, they keep asking me, Mark, what do you see for 2025? What do you see for the roaring 20s? And I just keep telling people that we're on the brink of significant change. That's, one of the things that I've called to is the great coming together. I don't know if that's triggered by nature, if that's triggered from something off world, off planet. Something could be something as great as the polar caps switching. Imagine that, because there is history of that, right? The polar caps, the poles shifting, right? There would be a lot of chaos. There'd be a lot of, nature is in charge, not humans, and we would have to adjust to that change. But the significant change smack dab in the middle of our roaring 20s, this often stems from, just doing some of my writings and some of my meditations. This is rapid advancement in technology, shifts in social dynamics, growing awareness of what we would say global issues like climate change, inadequacy, homelessness, war, and it's these innovations as well as with artificial intelligence that's coming up. And I've been working a lot and researching a lot into AI, artificial intelligence. But we have other things, like I said, quantum computing. Things are moving faster, quicker. Biotechnology, renewable energy. These are transforming our lives and how we interact with one another. And so, as these continue, and again, these are not going away, we're on the brink of great significant change with the concepts that are going to roll out in 2025 all the way through 2030. And it's how we interact, right? Even how the job format works. A lot of people, a lot of business want their people to come back to the office. They're like, no, some people are actually changing their careers to travel so they can be on the beach and do their job from the beach and have that work-life balance. Even there's talk of shifting the work week, going to a 4-day work week, like several other countries have done successfully, a 32-hour work week. So that'll be interesting as robots take over jobs, as robots, are we going to have universal income for people that, as jobs get eliminated? Think about you bag your own groceries right now, or you go to the car wash and the car wash is automated. There's going to be, I'm thinking like fast food. I think there's going to be a lot of robots that make the food and deliver the food, right? Self-driving cars. I mean, as we move forward, technology is just going to compound and get bigger and bigger is what I'm saying. And, we additionally, the increasing connection of our world through our communications channels, through travel, I believe it could lead to a more collaborative approach of solving our pressing challenges that we're experiencing. Like I said, I believe we personally have more in common than we do apart. But then the keyboard, this keyboard separates us, and people can get very confident, very rude, very mean behind a keyboard. They probably wouldn't do that normally. Some would. We live in a very interesting world, but most people would interact in the civil. Most people are born with, morals and ethics and values and civility, and some are not. I get that. But, the great coming together that I've been talking about and writing about and podcasting about, something is going to bring us to the point to be like, okay, we are one species. We all look different. We all have different beliefs. But at the end of the day, we all go to the same location called death, right? That doesn't change for anybody. Nobody gets out of that. So something, either internally or externally will let us know our greater presence in the universe, right? And that's why I'm saying that we're on the brink of significant change. And the year of the snake, based on if you follow, horoscopes, the year of the snake is all about, the snake for me represents a very spiritual pathway, especially working with plant medicines now. And, since I've retired, I've really come into working deep with plant medicines and going beyond this physical flesh suit, my higher self, my spiritual self, my auric self. And the snake represents the release of shedding of old skin so we can move into a new skin, right? That's the snake representation of the snake. And that's what we're moving into in 2025 is the year of the snake. So, I believe that our technology, we're trying to evolve through it. I can say that I'm BC, I'm before computers. I grew up with before computers, through computers, and whatever the future is going to hold. We have to evolve through that. And most civilizations have to evolve, right? They have to either evolve through it or they degress backwards, right? Go back to medieval times because we couldn't handle the concepts of awakening consciousness and working with, what would it be for you to learn that we are not alone in this universe, that there has been species, a species or a species of extra dimensional beings that have been here the whole time. That's what's interesting to me for the whole drone phenomenon. People are going to see drones, people are going to see stars, people are going to see airplanes. I get that. But the phenomenon which is going on both coasts, both here in Washington State and Oregon, on the East Coast in New Jersey, it's just interesting that, because people say, well, why would UFOs even have lights? Because they're showing us, they're actually showing us that they are witnessing and observing us as a species. I had my interactions when I was in the Coast Guard years ago, right around the year 2000, 1999, 2000. That was my first experience with UAPs, which is funny because it used to be UFO. Now it's unidentified flying object, has now been changed to UAP, which is unidentified aerial phenomenon. That has been changed to unidentified anomalous phenomenon because it can transmit, it can go from space to air to sea without breaking any speeds, without changing anything by the laws of physics and the laws of aerodynamics as we know them today, right? So, these drones that are taking place, there's a lot of people that I follow, Bashir, who channeled, they actually did a test on him recently where they actually put the God helmet on to see how his brain interacts when he's, if you know Bashir, you know what I'm talking about. If not, look him up. He does a lot of work where he goes into a deep meditative state, and this gentleman called Bashir starts giving information. Well, they've actually hooked him up to a computer to watch his brain, and it's quite fascinating what the brain does when he's in a trance state versus when he's in a non-trance state. And I've done this, I had the God helmet when I was at the college years ago in England, and they would test us based on meditation, what our brain waves would do, based on prayer, and then also what would happen to the brain if somebody came and disrupted the meditation, what the brain would do. The brain is a fascinating tool, connection. Einstein always said that, this 3.5 pound on average weighted brain is one of the most complex mysteries in our universe, right? And so if we use our brains, temples, third eye, crown chakra, you start to open up to that, but you have to be able to open up that. That's free will and choice. Nobody's going to make you. I chose to do this years and years ago, to follow this path after great grief and trauma and tragedy. And it really opened my perspective. It broadened my, what I had learned, I had to unlearn and relearn, right? It's like walking again. It's like you become a child again. And, and I'm happy for it. I'm happy because it's given me so many wonderful experiences and healings and transformations. And that's also what the snake represents: flexibility and movement, shedding skin and growing new skin, and being open to have that flexibility. So, as we approach this significant change, again, we're on the brink of significant change. Overall, I think the combination of our technology, our technological processes that we have, and a collective push for positive change suggests to me that we might be on the verge of a new era in human development, right? Again, we're talking about robotics, we're talking about quantum computing, we're talking about artificial intelligence, we're talking about technology that's showing us. I personally believe, and I just did a podcast on this, that James Webb has actually discovered Dyson spheres, which are when a civilization advances, there's a scale that it advances on. Again, we're less than 1; it goes up to 5. But they said, a category 3 or category 2 or category 3 species would have the ability to harness their energy of their planet or their star close to them. And these are called Dyson spheres. It was first talked about, both the Drake equation and Dyson spheres were talked about in the 60s by astrophysicists, based on the Drake equation is how big the universe is, and Dyson spheres would be that they would make spheres that would be able to harness the power of their planet or nearby star. And I believe that James Webb has already seen that, right? I don't trust our government. I worked in government for 23 plus years, y'all, and they do not share. They are not transparent. We wonder why people don't believe in institutions anymore of the government, because it is every day violating the U.S. Constitution by notifying we the people. Congress, president, regardless of what side of the spectrum, that's just, the right side and the left side are all connected to the same bird. It's all circus, right? So based on politics, but they know, and they don't want to share with us because they're worried that if we have the awareness that we are not alone in the universe, that changes people's thinking, that changes status quo, that breaks down religions. Dr. Stephen Greer was just talking about how there are things that have been pixelated out off of Mars that they share. Think about when they take a picture of something, right? It goes through an editing process, just like a book, just like a movie, just like a government document. I've seen the editing process for many years of writing reports that would go to Capitol Hill and then be put out to the public. They don't come out in their first draft, right? So when you're seeing pictures of Mars, it's gone through an editing process. And editing, I want you to think of, is a form of control, right? It's controlling the narrative. And a lot of pictures that we see from Mars, there's a lot of stuff that can be pixelated out, including tall obelisks, just like you see in Egypt, that are very ancient, that have been pixelated out. And what would that say if we knew that there were the same obelisks that are by in Egypt now on Mars, right? That changes the conversation. That changes the status quo. But a lot of things go through an editing process, can be pixelated out to make it look like there's nothing there, and then released to the public. So, don't buy the BS. One of the things that that I've learned in my spiritual development, my human development, is that your BS meter goes way up. When people are lying to you. I recently was talking with somebody, and I can see their aura change. I can see the colors of people, their auric field. And I can tell when somebody's BSing me or lying to me. And that's just because I've worked with my senses to be hyper aware, hyper alert of, that includes media, that includes politics, that includes what we're being presented, and we're not being presented the truth. Now, of course, some of you are going to watch this. You're going to say, "Oh, he's a conspiracy theorist." That's fine. We all have labels and judgment and opinions about others, but you have to choose for yourself what is your reality. Your focus determines your reality, right? And I believe that there's just a lot more going on. And I try to apply not just my own spiritual development and beliefs, but science. And science teaches us, just on the grand scheme of things, what we see and what we hear based on spectrum is very, very limited. It's very, very small. We don't see a lot based on spectrums and colors, and we don't hear a lot based on hertz and frequencies. And, there is, one of the things that really opened my eyes that I could see firsthand was taking a singing bowl. You can fill a singing bowl up with water. Okay. So here's a singing bowl. This is one of the first singing bowls I ever got at the Omega Institute years ago. You can put water in a singing bowl, fill it up about halfway, activate the singing bowl. And as you create the vibration, you'll see the water change patterns. We call it sacred geometry. You can do it with sand, you can do it with salt. And when you activate a certain frequency, whether it's a singing bowl, which I use for healing, or sound frequencies on a table, and you can hook up the frequencies, you can see the sand, the salt, the water vibrate and create sacred geometry. And that to me was like, wow, that's very interesting. The vibration can change a pattern. If you're not familiar with sacred geometry, I'd say go prospecting, look that up. It's very fascinating. But think about how I'm communicating to you right now. I'm coming to you through a technology platform. I'm using a vibration off a vocal cord to generate communication and speech. You're hearing the words, which is a vibration that you're taking in, which is a vibration on the eardrum to understand what I'm saying. So I try to use science, and that's what I love about spirituality, is they work together. They work together with the mysteries and the metaphysics and the phenomenon of life, that things that we just don't know. And, that to me has been always fascinating. The curiosity as a little kid, that little kid that's still in me. Gosh, what movie were we just watching? Red One. Have you seen Red One on Netflix? It was a fun Christmas movie, but it was about finding that kid within and finding that child within. That child is still within me, that curiosity to want to know the things, even sometimes scary, but take that risk, right? If you don't risk it, there's no biscuit. Have that fear put behind you and take a leap of faith, right? And I just believe that as we're moving into this new being on the brink, it's going to scare some people, and it's going to not sit well with you. And For others that have been already kind of ahead of the curve, you're going to embrace it and be like, yeah, I told you. For us conspiracy theories that we're not alone in the universe, and I can take my tinfoil hat off and be like, yeah, I've been telling you this for years. Been writing about it, podcasting about it, doing these shows about it. But we have to wait, watch, and witness. That's what I teach my students: wait, watch, and witness, because things don't happen real time. They have to unfold. Technologies have to come into play. Certain concepts have to be in the right place for things to unfold. But we will in the roaring 20s, which means I got 5 years left to prove me wrong, that we're going to learn that we're not alone, whether it's a Dyson sphere, whether it's a species that's been living here all along. I found it interesting that Space Force, I've seen a commercial. I was watching a football game. They had one of the veterans on, or one of the active duty members that was part of Space Force. And thank you to all our veterans that, all the people that work on Christmas Day so we can celebrate, the holidays for those that work, the front lines, the first responders, our military. Thank you, because I know what it's like to serve and be on those front lines during the holidays. And he had come up and he was at Colorado. And I didn't realize that the headquarters of Space Force was in Colorado. And if you want to get into conspiracy theories, I believe that Colorado's airport, which was built and went billions of dollars over budget and has a lot of underground facilities, that's where the president flies to in case of any kind of emergency or world war. And now Space Force is in Colorado. So that to me was interesting, because if you've ever been to the airport, when I went to Colorado for the first time, I thought it was just the elevation. I got a little bit of get a little sick, but then I realized, no, I was tuning into the energies, especially at the airport. There's some just weird things at that airport. Look it up, do some prospecting. If you're a conspiracy theorist or you want to be a conspiracy theorist, then look up the budget that went into the airport. Even though Colorado, Denver had a perfectly good airport that they could have redone, but they decided to take it way outside the city in a big part of land that has a lot of ability to build stuff underground. So why is Space Force there, and why did the president fly there, right? So it's just interesting. So I was like, things that make you go home, that BS meter that I'm talking about. So good morning to Meg. Hi, Claire. Hi, Annette. Good to see you. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Michelle. Julie, good morning to you. Last Friday of 2024. Yes, it is, Wendy. Last Friday of 2024, which reminds me, if you are a subscriber, Patreon Prospector or Diamond Sub subscriber, you can get the links here or in the Facebook comment section. Next Friday is Diamond Days. So next Friday is going to be, let's see, I'm looking at my January 4th, which actually I got a pretty busy, January 3rd. I'm booked out on Friday or Saturday, which is the 4th. So I'm like, oh, that's going to be hard. But no, on the 3rd, is the first Friday of every single month is my ability to get back to my subscribers. And there are 2 Zoom links, one in the morning at 11:30 and one at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So if you can't make the first one, you come into the second one. And if you're a subscriber, if you're Patreon or Diamond Sub, paid subscription, then you can have a consultation with me. Depends on how many people we have in the waiting room, but usually 10 to 15 minutes, and then I get to the next person free. It's free if you're a paid subscriber, but $4.99 compared to a 1-hour booking is quite cheap, But next Friday is what I call Diamond Day. First Friday of every month, I give back to my subscribers with 2 separate links. And the only way you can get to it is by being a member on the Patreon page or the Diamond Sub page, because those are closed to the public. And those links, which is via Zoom, you can either call in or you can Zoom in, and we have a reading, just to explore and prospect what's going on. Do I have all the answers? No, but we can do it together, and there's strength in numbers. So last Friday of 2024. So I guess I will see you next year on Diamonds Days, which is January 3rd. And I hope that you'll tune in. And make sure to share out this page. Make sure to subscribe and share out to others that might like the dialogue, might like the content of what I'm talking about. It could be from Bigfoot to UFOs to just death and dying, spirituality. So let's get on to why we're on the brink. The year 2025, which is influenced as a numerologist, it's one of the many tools that I have in my toolbox, whether it's a singing bowl, whether it's a pickaxe to find the diamonds within and the diamonds all around, whether it's, instruments. These are different tools, and numerology is one of the tools that I like to use to look ahead. And as far back as we can date, numerology is about 11,000 years old. If you follow mathematics, Pythagorean loved numerology. He always said that numerology was a cousin to music, because music is a series of notes put together that makes music. Same with mathematics. Mathematics is the universal language, and that's how we will communicate moving forward. It will not be in a vibrational tone of communications, English, Italian, Spanish, French. It won't be that. as we evolve, our communications will be based through vibrations, frequency, mathematics, and understanding the universe, because that's how the universe aligns. So in numerology, the year is 2025. And so what you do is you just take up 2025 and you just take 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 9, or plus 5 equals 9. And so the 9 is all about completion and closure. That's what this year is going to represent for you. So you can manifest this. Again, your free will and choice always applies to what you do moving forward. You are the sum of your experiences, and your focus does determine your reality. So if you are having an awakening, that means your focus has shifted. That means that you're starting to unlearn everything that you've learned or been brought up to learn. And that can be a very uncomfortable place to be. It can be a blessing and a burden that I talk about, the balance of duality. So the first bullet point for the 2025, as we're on the year of the brink of great change and evolution, it's a year to wrap up old projects, complete cycles. People may feel compelled to finalize things in their lives in the year of 2025, whether it's personal or professional. I know for me, I hope to wrap up my legal case. I'm in a big legal case right now. I just recently retired from the major surgeries that I had. I'm officially retired on paper. Just got my packet. There it is right here. I just got my packet yesterday. So after 23 plus years retired, I'm now officially retired with the FERS, which is the OPM Retirement Services. And now this gives me the ability to do more of what I love: more writing, more podcasting, more shows, working with people. Hope to travel and do more events and expos, working with plant medicines, and be free from the man. I'll never work again for the government. That's 23 plus years was enough. So I'm wrapping up in completion in 2025. I hope to complete my legal case as well, because it's draining, it's a burden. But you have to hold people accountable when they are, when they discriminate, when they create hostile working environments, when they retaliate against their employees. And it's unfortunate because they haven't done it just to me; they've done it against others. Hopefully the legal pathway will bring accountability and responsibility to those that act in bad faith and bad behavior. But I'm hoping to wrap that up early in 2025. So that's going to be my professional. My personal is, to enjoy retirement for one, but then start to look, do you ever really retire? I don't think so. I will continue to be more active. I think I'm more active now compared to when I was doing this, balancing this with my other job. So, it's just going to be for you, it's going to be about completing. It's going to be about closure, whether that's personal or professional. I think there's going to be a humanitarian focus in 2025. What I mean by that is just more increased awareness and action towards humanitarian issues, homelessness, hunger, global warming, rising oceans. I think Antarctica, as we move along, I did a podcast a couple seasons ago about the secrets of Antarctica. There's a ton of volcanoes down in Antarctica that people don't realize, that at the bottom of our planet is a full continent that is filled with mysteries that date back to World War II, when they were starting to explore, based on pyramids being down there, based on things that are frozen that are starting to melt. I think that Antarctica, the secrets of Antarctica, are going to really unlock in the next 25 years as we continue to send icebreakers down. It's interesting, there's a no-fly zone, right, in Antarctica. There's just a lot of mystery and a lot of secrets, and there's an agreement between the major G7 countries that they won't develop. They'll only have research stations down there. But I think that's going to change, especially when it comes to resources and minerals and valuables that the Earth can present, because there's a whole treasure trove waiting to be explored down there. And I think that'll be part of the humanitarian focus as well. I think that there's going to be a collective push for social justice. Like I said, I'm working on social justice right now in my own journey. I won't give too many details, but it's been draining. It's been something working with lawyers and legal processes, something I've never, ever in my life have had to do. But, pushing for social justice, pushing to hold people accountable, environmental causes, global cooperation. I think the global companies are starting to realize that they can't have their global corporations if there's no planet, right? If there's no people to purchase their global products, right? So I think there's also going to be some spiritual growth in 2025, an emphasis on spiritual awakening, personal development. And again, if that's something that you're interested in, you can send me an email, visit marclainhart.com, put a message here, and we can get in touch to help you with your development. Because again, I'm only where I'm at in my journey, and the journey of 1,000 miles begins with that single step, and that single step is based on your free will and your choice. But I have been mentored over the last 2 decades with some of the best in what they do, and some of them are well known. I don't need a name drop. I just know that they're well known in what they do, and they've helped me in my journey, and I hope to pay it forward and do that as well. So mentoring programs, weekly student development, because I believe that this spiritual growth is going to continue, not decease, not die, but actually grow and become even more as more and more people seem to be awakening. And sometimes that's driven by technology, the internet, searching information, things that you like, back in the day, I used to have to go to the library, and it's like, who wants to get a library card and go to the library and sit in the library being quiet, looking up Encyclopedia Brown. Now we have the internet and information, lots of information, and that's going to change with quantum computing, right? And so now you start thinking about not only the information that's there, but what about the ancient wisdom that's there? It's interesting that I watched the Pope open up for Jubilee St. Peter's tomb, right, to allow for, transformation, kind of like that snake. It's the year of the snake, right? In Chinese numerology or in Chinese horoscope. But to see the Vatican open up the St. Peter's tomb after, I think it's every 25 years on the Jubilee, that allows you to walk through and be cleansed of your sins. Like, I would love to have access to the Vatican library that has scrolls dating back that would change the narrative and the perspective of many religions around the world. There's a lot of, the Vatican is the smallest country, it's its own, sovereignty. But I would love, my bucket list would be to have full access to the Vatican library, to read and to, research all of the information that's there. But we have a lot of information, whether it's on the dark web, whether it's on the internet, whether it's through, social media platforms like TikTok or I don't know where some of the others, Instagram, Snapchat, WhatsApp. People are talking, people are connecting, and they know at some point, going back to the government, they are going to lose control through crowdsourcing. And when they realize they can no longer control that editing process, that narrative process, and it will get out, that's where I said first contact and full disclosure will come through crowdsourcing, not through the media. The media is biased. The media is also editing, and not our government, right? So that spiritual growth with the knowledge that's presented to us makes the mind more broader. It makes the perspective more broader. And you start asking questions and challenging status quo. For some people, they won't do that. They love status quo. It's the matrix, right? They love to be plugged in, do their job, go home, sleep, get up, do it all again. But for those of you that are awakening, this will be a spiritual development in 2025 that will have this growth and personal development that you may want to do. It may encourage forgiveness, healing old wounds, and moving forward, which I recommend for everybody. Unforgiveness keeps them in control. When you move into forgiveness, it lets go of that and allows you to proceed to heal and to transform. And again, that snake. Again, I think there's going to be a lot of forgiveness and healing in 2025, opportunities for letting go of past grievances. This year may encourage forgiveness, healing old wounds, and moving forward, is what I put for my bullet point. Creative expression. I think there's going to be a surge in our artistic and creative endeavors. We're seeing that through, I think AI is going to have a big hand in that. I think that, and I know and I feel that people will find innovative ways to express themselves and their ideas. There's some of the stuff I just see now, I'm just like, wow, that's very creative. That's very thoughtful. I wouldn't have thought of that. But people are downloading information. People are starting to connect to ancient knowledge and ancient wisdom. And that's fascinating to me. I think that there's going to be some interpersonal relationships. And what I mean by that is strengthen focus on relationships and community. I know that that's going to be my focus. Unity through community and coffee. I think there's going to be a desire to foster connection and build support networks because especially as people move away from institutions, no longer trusting the government, no longer believe in institutions to deliver for we the people, going back to the basics of the Constitution. These are all going to be challenged, right? Whether it's by politicians or insiders or someone called the deep state. There's a lot of systems that are broken. It's funny because a lot of shows that are coming out that I've been watching, and I've always said, does life imitate art or does art imitate life? I'll leave that up to you to decide. But a lot of shows talk about the breakdown of institutions, people no longer trusting them, the corruption, the greed, the power that takes place inside these institutions. And that's just human nature, right? That shouldn't surprise you. But when we have that great coming together, that will all change, and people know that. And they're fearful of that. Religions are fearful of first contact because it doesn't aliens and extra dimensional beings are not written in scripture in many of the books around the world. Some there are. You can go back to the Sumerian texts, which talk about the Anunnaki. I just know from my understanding of scripture and Christianity and Catholicism, there's no mention. I do find it interesting that the original version, the Hebrew version of the Bible in Genesis, talks about that we were created in their identity, we were created in their likeness, and then it was changed to his. So we went from plural to singular when the Bible was redone and re-edited. They changed it from made in their images versus based in his image. That to me is interesting. Why change? Why is their plural and then changed to masculine singular, right? So that's just one of many examples. And that's what we do in development group. We look at different religions. We've studied the top 10 religions from around the world and how religions are made based on man's perspective, going all the way back to some of the oldest religions to some of the newest religions that are created right now. That'll be the creative expression that I'm talking about. But I believe that there'll be interpersonal relationships with your higher self, the spirit world, especially if you've lost a loved one. We had a family member pass away just a few weeks ago. We had another friend of a friend of a friend who passed away on Christmas. And so you start thinking about death and dying. You start thinking about your journey and what it means to be here, right? So I think that in 2025, there's also going to be change and transformation. I think embracing change is a necessary part of life. I always say that the only thing consistent in life is change. So that snake mentality, if you're open to that, the flexibility to move along the different interactions of 2025. I find that I think people may be more open to transformation and adapting to new circumstances. I think our technology has helped us with that because every 18 months, Moore's law says that technology changes. We're going to see big changes in 2025. We will see flying cars. We will see people going to space and staying in space hotels. We will learn that we're not alone. There will be self-driving cars. There will be robots that are serving us. There will be some sort of universal income that helps support as jobs go away, or a new industry of innovation will create, just like the Industrial Revolution created jobs that are still done to this day. The next innovation, which I believe is going to be spiritual, is going to be metaphysical, is going to be space driven, getting to different planets. That will create innovations that will create new jobs as we move forward. So global awareness, I think that there's going to be heightened awareness of global issues and interconnectedness. I think people are tired. I think people are tired of the BS. They're tired of the politics. They're tired of government and institutions not working. And we know in history past, when people get tired, they rebel, they revolt, they rise up, they take, their strength in many, we the people is very strong once we realize the power it possesses. I think individuals might be more actively engaged with world events. I hope that you do in 2025. I think overall, 2025 is going to be a transformative year based on the focus and based on completion, based on compassion, based on creativity, the 3 C's of what I'm seeing for 2025. So again, completion of things that you've done either personally or professionally, compassion for the world and in your sphere of influence, and creativity to create these new innovations that I'm talking about that's going to lead us into the next decade of the 2030s. I think those are going to take center stage. Now, with that positivity, I know that in the year of the snake, we'll still continue to see violence. We'll still see, domestic violence and terrorism. And I do believe that we will see a World War III in my lifetime. And I think that's going to take place again in Europe, Russia, Ukraine, Germany, France. I think that there's going to be a buildup to another escalation on a world, more of a digital war. It's going to be a war that we haven't seen before. And I don't believe anybody believes in using nuclear capabilities because no one wins. They know it's a zero sum. But there's a war going on right now just on cyber, based on cyber warfare, based on hacks, based on breaking into people's accounts and holding them hostage to pay money and, et cetera, et cetera. But, the year of the snake is rich in symbolism and cultural significance. That's why I think that this year, 2025, those, the creativity, the compassion, and the completion But the year of the snake that we move into is also going to have us consider some different things as far as the characteristics of the snake represent wisdom and intelligence. The snake is very wise and very intelligent. Snakes, like I said, out in nature are often viewed as intelligent and wise creatures. Take their time, move slowly, flexible. That's what we need to do. They're believed to have a deep understanding of the world around them. That's what the snake represents. And like I said, this last year, I've had some very, through the plant medicine, I've had some very spiritual experiences with grandmother, with the snake. And it's been very profound, very life-changing. The mystery and the enigma of snakes, they tend to embody mystery. And, people that are born of this year often see them as intriguing and complex. But snakes also have elegance and grace, right? They move with grace. They're very elegant. They're smooth movements translate into personally traits of those born under this sign. And can be very graceful and charming, right? So if you're born in the year of the snake, you know what I'm talking about. I'm born. My year was the year of the rat, as far as Chinese years go. Elements and cycles. In the Chinese astrology, each zodiac sign is also associated with the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, and water. And the year of the snake can be influenced by these elements, which can add different dimensions to personality traits and also fortunes. For example, the wood snake represents growth and creativity. The fire snake symbolizes passion and energy. The earth snake associated with stability and practicality. The metal snake represents strength and resilience, and the water snake, which represents link to intuition and adaptability. So, with the snake, embrace change is what I'm saying. Embrace change, because the snake's nature encourages adaptability. It encourages to being open to change can be very beneficial for you. And again, we're creatures of habits. When change happens, whether that's death and dying or career change or relationship change, we can play the victim of that. And I would say, don't be the victim. It's not happening to you, it's happening for you. And, embrace that change, focus on personal growth. I believe that this year can be seen as a great time for self-reflection and pursuing personal development, whether that's through prayer, meditation, going to events, working with plant medicines. Be cautious. Why the snake is wise, it also is prudent to be cautious in decision making and avoiding rash actions. So take your time in 2025 is what I'm saying. The snake perspective, which is 2025, the year of the 9, the snake perspective is seen as a time of introspection, a time of transformation, a time of personal growth, both personally and collectively. And again, we're moving to the middle of our roaring 20s of transformation. We're going to be right smack in the middle. And we've had a lot of buildup to this point, including science and technology and communications and social media and medicine and advancements in computing and communications and mathematics. And I believe that the next 5 years is going to just explode even more, and it's going to be that age of Aquarius, if you will. But the year is filled with a cultural significance to have wisdom, intelligence, but be flexible and be open to change is what I would say to that. So that's what I have. We're on the brink. It's not a bad brink. We're always on the brink, but I do believe that, like I said, based on what's going on with the global conflict, I do think that we will see a world war break out in a different way than we've ever seen before. This is all based on what I've seen coming, based on international organizations, based on economic interdependence, based on diplomatic relations, based on public opinion. Social media drives public opinion now, which is interesting because that's something that we've never. When Twitter first came out, these were reactions. Twitter, now known as X, but these social media now are driving emotions and change behavior and how we choose, whether it's the next president or Congress or the sporting world. It's very interesting how these tools are changing our interaction within the world and within each of our societies. So nuclear deterrence, though, I don't think it's going to be that type of world war. I think it's going to be something that we haven't seen before. But buckle up because it's going to be an interesting year and it's going to start right away, January 1st. But in the year of the nine, the year of completion, this is a great, like I said, this is a great year to work on the three C's: um, compassion, creativity, and change. And that's what 2025 can represent for you. So that's what I have for you today. Thanks for tuning in. I'll give some shout outs and I'll go ahead and open up the reading room if you want to come in. I'll go over to Facebook here real quick. I'll put my number in if you'd like to have a chat. Like I said, what I do is I work with my badges first. I look for your name and a badge. If you have a badge, that means that you're a subscriber, a follower, a sharer. If you're a Patreon prospector, I'll know who you are. If you're a Diamonds Hub, you'll have a little badge that says subscriber next to it. So let me go ahead and put in the Zoom link if you want to come in and have a chat. Love to hear from you. It's a big part of what I do now. So this will be the Zoom link. And if my team is still on, if you want to grab this, if anybody's, we get a lot of comments, so you may miss it in the comments. You can put a comment. You can put a comment in the comment section, and I'll try to get to you as best I can. Okay, so Zoom link is there. I put in a avatar of me throwing some hearts at you. I'll put my business line here in the studio. Just look for the, let's see what we here. Hello. Yeah, there's one. So look for the hello avatar. 2, 6. All right, so my phone. So there's 3 ways to get in contact with me if you want to go prospecting today. You can come into the Zoom room, put you in the waiting room if there's multiple people, and we'll get to you. If you want to call in, that phone number is out there now, 206-588-0661. That is my studio line. Or you can put a comment in the comment section. If it ends up being mediumship, just the one thing I like to say is I work for them. They don't work for me as a modern day medium. We can definitely take that approach and see what unfolds for us. Especially when I'm doing this live, but it either has to be mediumship can only be done through the phone. You're on speakerphone, you agree to come in to the Zoom room or agree to be on phone and ask me the questions. And then I tune in and see what drops in, see what I connect with. And you tell me yes, no, I'm not sure. I don't know that because there's some things that there could be a memory there that you don't recall. And you're like, I don't know, I don't remember. And then 2 days later after the reading, because I believe some of the best evidence comes after the reading. Because you didn't remember at the time, you may be nervous. People get nervous talking to me. I get that. I'm a human being. I'm nothing special. I've worked to develop my abilities through severe grief and trauma and tragedy and losing people very close to me to change my perspective of the world, which opened my abilities to do this. So if it's mediumship, it has to be through the Zoom room or through the telephone. Love to talk with you. Or you can post a comment in the comment section. And if Colleen or Jane, if you're both still on, thanks for being moderators, keeping the environment positive. We get some people that come in that want to, put a spam call in or go to my page to get a more accurate reading. Don't do that because you'll get kicked out of the community, and 2, you'll get reported to Facebook and you won't be invited back. So just don't do it as the best way. But we try to keep this very, very positive and upbeat. So hi, Kara. Hi, Claire. Hi, Katie. Hi, Rafe. Hi, Rama. Hi, Lori. Good to see you. Hi, Moni. Hi, Monica. Rose. Hello. Lucy. Hello to you. Mercedes. Good morning. Diana. Hello. Rays. Hi, Sue. Hi, Luis. Hi, Ashley. Hi, Zach's His. Hi, Lori. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name. Hi, Rhoda. Hi, Jose. Hi, Ivan. Hi, Cynthia. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Happy New Year. Happy holidays. So some of your names I can't pronounce, so I apologize, but I do try to give everybody a shout out. So hi, Yessie. So the reading room is open. If you want to come in, there's 3 ways to do it. You can call. Number is now posted. This is my business line. I'll put you on speaker. You can ask me a question. You can come directly into the Zoom room, and I just ask if you come into the Zoom room, turn the show, mute the show if you're watching, turn down the volume, just so we don't get reverberation and I can actually hear you and not myself. That's what I ask if you come into the Zoom room live. Or you can post a comment here, and I've got 14 decks that are all recharged and ready to go. So you can give me a deck number you want, 14, 1 through 14. You can ask for a page number out of a book, 3 through 325, or cards 1 through 14. Tell me what deck you want. You can tell me what card you want, or we can do it live where I shuffle and you tell me to stop. So there's a lot of different ways to interact with me digitally, right? That's how we work. We're in the quantum, we're in the metaverse, we're in the digital transformation of how we do things now. So I'm here in Seattle, so you can come in from anywhere around the world. That's another thing that just blows my mind. We can work internationally or we can work domestically, depending on where you're at. And the reading room is now open. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Nora. Welcome, welcome. Again, if you have a question, come on in, Zoom, phone, or comment. Hi, Elizabeth. So again, reading room is open. If you're curious about something or you want to try to talk to a loved one, friend, family, fur babies are included, come on in. So again, 3 ways to connect while the reading room is open is you come in live through Zoom. Just ask you turn your camera on and turn your volume down on the show so we can have a chat. You can call in 206-588-0661, or you can post a comment in the comments section with either a book read or a card read, and I'm happy to do those for you. And again, this is my time. This is my pro bono time, so you take advantage of it, because outside of this, unless you're a subscriber for Diamond Days, which is next Friday, first Friday of every month, you have to go through my website at Marc Lainhart and book a reading and pay a lot more money, right? That's my time. My time is dedicated to Fridays, to giving back to my followers and top fans and my subscribers on the first Friday of every month, called Diamonds Day. So I'd love to have you subscribe or join the journey and prospect with me through this thing we call life. The very interesting dynamics of what life is. All right, Katie. Hi, Katie. Hi, Lori. Hi, Carlos. Katie says, hi, Mark. How about card number 13, your choice on the deck? Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, so Katie, we've got the flower sentience deck. So this is based on working with flowers, nature, which is a great deck, actually. Hi, Cornelio. Am I saying your name right? Cornelio? So welcome. So Katie, actually, I'm going to have you, I don't want to choose. I want you to choose, because I think it's free will and personal choice are important when dealing with messages. So as I'm shuffling, Katie, and you know this, just take a deep breath. Set your intention. I give you about 10 seconds, and then type stop in the comment section, and I should see it come up live, or if my moderators can let me know. Hi, Whitney. Welcome. The reading room is open. So when you're ready, Katie, you're on deck. I'm shuffling the deck right now. You type in the word stop, and this will be your controlling the message, not me. I prefer to do it that way. Hi, Michelle. Welcome. So Katie, give you about 10 seconds. Type in stop when you're ready. And that's the message that we'll pull for you. Hi, Sergio. Welcome. Okay, Lori, you're on deck after Katie. Stop. Perfect. Thanks, Katie. Beautiful card to start with, actually. These are roses. Lori, you're on deck. Lori, tell me what deck you want, 1 through 14. And then we'll do the same thing like what I'm doing with Katie right now. Because again, it puts you in control. This is your intention. This is your free will and your choice. And I believe intention by the laws of physics and spiritual dynamics, because when you set intention, energy follows that, and then you either manifest it and take activity to manifest it, or it just stays here. So your card is this. This is called the mixed rose card, and it's a number 19. So this means this is the number 1. So the 9 plus 1 is 10, and then you break it down to a single digit numerology. So the 1 energy becomes independence, the journey by yourself. But it says this for you, Katie. In general, roses represent happy, sincere love and beauty. They also give the message of gratitude, or quote, job well done, end quote. A red rose usually symbolizes love and devotion. A white rose, purity and grace. A pink rose brings joy, love, and gratitude. Dark red speaks of unconscious beauty, courage, and respect. A pale pink rose indicates appreciation, thank you. Thus, the card brings many of these genuine blessings to you at this time. Choose a color and draw on its symbolic energy wherever you need it. So again, the different colors of roses: red rose, pink rose, dark rose, pale pink. But again, the message that you chose today was thank you, job well done, and pick whatever rose. And you can put in the comment section what rose you're drawn to based off this card. And again, the 1 is independence, it's the journey, it's the hardworking energy for this message. Great card, actually. All right. So does that make sense, Katie? Were you drawn to a certain rose? Because that also, you want to use your intuition to be drawn to something. Trust the intuition. The two things I teach my students, and we have this conversation all the time every Wednesday: trust, patience, discipline, dedication. These are things, if you really want to see a change, the three C's in life: make a choice, take a chance, experience and see the change. I personally have lived this last year. I don't walk the walk, I talk the talk, and I have lived it. So I definitely understand it. So if you want to put a comment, Katie, please do so. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Hi, Sarah. Okay, Lori wants number 7. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. All right, so you got the numerology deck this morning. Lori, as I am shuffling the deck, take a deep breath, set your intention. When you hear the word stop, plug that into the keyboard and hit enter, and that's a card that we'll pick and talk about. So, hi, Josedan. Hi, Robin. Hi, Benti. Claudia, hello, hello. Sending you many thanks back to you. Pink Sock, love it. Yeah, so Pink Sock brings love, joy, and gratitude. So move into that energy. So Lori's on deck. If you want a reading, 3 ways to come in. Zoom room, link is up above in the comments. You can type in the comment section, or you can call my business line. Number is also above in the comment section. So we're doing card readings or book readings today. So, and again, next Friday is Diamond Days. If you want a healing, a meditation, we can do any of that. Sound bowls. I think I've got my music figured out here on Zoom, how to do music now, guitar, different musical instruments, rain stick. So Lori, whenever you're ready. All right, Tara, you're on deck. You want deck 3, please. 1, 2, 3. I'll get that deck for you. We're just waiting on Lori to hit stop. So she's making that choice. She's setting that intention. I've started the beginning of the deck. So Lori, go ahead and type in stop. You're choosing, not me. And Tara, thanks for being a subscriber. You can see Tara's got a badge next to her name. That means that she's that green, like the color of my shirt, is a subscriber badge. So we have deck number 3. Lori, just waiting on you, hon. Give you 10 more seconds, and then I'll move on. Because I want you to stop. Thank you. Thank you. Because it's important for you to choose the message, right? Because it's like, then it doesn't become subjective, right? It doesn't become, oh, Mark just pulled that card. It's you choosing it based on me just using it. I'm pretty much your fingers. But here's the card right here: spiritual partnership. Now, it's interesting because it's a 2 and a 7. So what the 2 represents is peace with what is. The 7 is truth, knowing truth, finding truth, hearing truth, discovering truth. Sometimes that's easy, sometimes it's not. But the 2 and the 7 add up to what? 9. What are we moving into? The year of the 9, completion. And it's talking about a spiritual partnership for you. So that could be a spiritual partnership with your higher self, spiritual partnership with somebody else, spiritual partnership with the spirit world, spiritual partnership with an animal or a colleague or a friend. So you have to decide which way this is going to go for you. But it's a spiritual partnership energy. So pay attention to the number 2, 7, and 9 over the next few weeks, because I do believe that energy, those coincidences and synchronicities that we talk about, align with our intent and our focus and the energy that follows to manifest into our reality. Einstein always talked about synchronicities and coincidences of being God's way of remaining anonymous. Whoever or whatever God is for you, I don't try to label that anymore. I just know that there is more than meets the eye of this journey, and that there is a higher source of love, connection, that we would, label God, man, woman, both. I just know that there is, because I've had a near-death experience, but I don't try to explain God to you, because it's your own subjective perspective anyway, right? So, Lori, does that make sense? 2, 7, 9, spiritual partnership. Mostly, it feels like moving into the 2025. That year would be more in alignment. Does that make sense, Lori? All right, so let's get to Tara, deck number 3. Okay, Tara, when you're ready, here's the deck. It's my Atomic Energy deck. It's actually a fun deck. I got this down in Palm Springs last year when I went down to Palm Springs. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and type in stop, and we'll get to you. Hi, Sylvia. Hi, Lisa. Angela, hello to you. Sandra, hello. Bradley Anderson, hello to you. So Tara's on deck. If you want a reading, 3 ways to do that. Come into the Zoom room, wait in the waiting room, and I'll bring you on live. Just turn your volume down. You can call in 206-588-0661, or you can put a comment in the comment section if you want a card reading or a book reading, and then once you tell me what you want, we'll go from there. So Tara's just figuring out her intentions. Take that deep breath. Very important for decision making. Calms the mind, reduces the voices. And when you hear that word stop, type it on the keyboard and hit stop, Tara. stuff. Perfect. Thank you, my dear. Here's your card. I'll read it to you in the message. And again, I get you all to interact. One, I know that you're still on interacting with me, and two, you're choosing based on when you stop. Now, this is interesting, Tara, and tell me what this means to you, because I was just talking about this. You chose the breath card. Now, this is the color of green. The color green is tied to the heart chakra. That's the color that's associated with the heart. But the breath is coming up for you. And a lot of times we do this unconsciously. A lot of us, until I say, don't think of the pink elephant behind me, now you're thinking of the pink elephant. We breathe constantly, but are we truly breathing? Are we truly living? Breath is one of the main tools that I teach on and work with. I work with Soma breath work, which is an ancient type of breath work. It's something that I was introduced in my Coast Guard days to handle stress. It's something I'll be working on here in a few days when I go to the sound and jump in the sound for the polar plunge, because everybody jumps in and jumps out. I actually go in and I swim for about 3 to 5 minutes, but I'm working with my Wim Hof, and it actually warms my body up in 51-degree temperature water here in the Puget Sound. So I'm getting my mind ready for that, because your mind freaks out in cold water immersion. But for you, Tara, have you focused on your breath? Because breath is quite not only transformative. Breath, if you really, when I use breath in my Qigong exercises, Qigong is the mother of Tai Chi. Working with breath is very powerful. We work in breath exercises in my development group as well. Breath is really good at calming the mind, but really good at expanding the auric field, really good at calming the nervous system and the adrenals. And breath work is something that we just don't think about. We get complacent because we unconsciously breathe until your breath is taken away. And obviously, I need to breathe, right? But we need that air, right? And it's something I've been thinking about. What are 3 things in life that we know that exist and we can't do without? And one of them is breath and air, right? Without air and the connection to the symbiotic relation between, the ocean and the trees that take carbon dioxide and exchange that for oxygen so we can live, we know we need breath. We know that there's gravity, right? Because if you jump off of a diving board, you're 100% gonna end up in the pool. And if you don't, then we need to talk. That means that you defy the laws of gravity, right? Maybe you're an extra dimensional being that can do that, right? Because one Harvard professor does think, both a Harvard professor and Stanford professor think that there are extra dimensional beings, aliens living amongst us. So that would be interesting if you defy gravity. But breath, right? Air. We need air. We know that gravity exists. At least it's theory it exists, right? And we know that the wind, we can't see the wind, right? We can see the effects of the wind, but we don't see it with our physical eye. So there's a lot of mysteries that are going on all around us that we can talk about. But Tara, have you been talking, or have you been thinking about your breath work? Because again, it's very transformative, very healing. It's the breath work that has actually gotten me through some of my intense plant medicine ceremonies that I have been a part of now recently, working with that breath, because some of the things that you're experiencing and witnessing and feeling and seeing can be very overwhelming. So breath work becomes important. So I would work with Soma, S-O-M-A, which puts you into a state of hypoxia. Wim Hof, when you introduce yourself to cold therapy, or any kind of Qigong breath exercises is what I would recommend for you, Tara. So, all right. Let's see here. Who else does that make sense though? So do it, get on, we've got all sorts of information on our fingertips. Get on YouTube, get on my YouTube channel. I've got some breath work, enjoying, like I said, we're about to hit 30,000 subscribers, which is fun. That means I'm just reaching more people and they can listen to my conspiracy theories and my BS, I guess, right? So, let's see here. So where did I leave off here? Katie says, Happy New Year 2025 to you and your team. Thank you, Katie. Happy New Year to you as well, my friend. Hi, Lou. Good to see you. Robin, hello to you. Michelle Hunt, hello to you. Hildesia Hernandez, hello to you. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Lou says, great seeing you today, Mark. Great to see you, my friend. Talking about being on the brink 2025. Felicia, hello to you. Allison Gorman, hello to you. Lori said, when I picked the card, I thought of numbers, not knowing the card you picked 2 and 7 is 9. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah. Again, when you start to look at the world differently, and Wayne Dyer talked about this, he always said, I remember him saying this years ago when I followed him, he always said, if you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at start to change. And I believe numerology is a tool that you can use to start seeing the interactions of patterns and communications that take place, not just between the physical eyes, but the third eye, right? You're using your capabilities as a human being, not just, just your hands and your eyes. You're using your intuition, you're using your clairs, you're using your third eye, you're using your brain, you're using your breath work, your auric field. There's a lot of things that we can use and backed by science, right? It's backed and blends with science in a very real way. And that's what I find very interesting. Hi, Suzanne. Intuitive healing, hello to you. Wendy, hello to you. Tara says, thank you so much. Makes so much sense. Good. April Lopez, hello to you. All right. So I think I've caught up to everybody. If you would like, I'll go 6 more minutes to 11:30, and then I got to get over and get my YouTube channel ready for the next video. Love to chat with you. If you want to come into the reading room, 3 ways to do that. Zoom link is out there. Just look for my avatar with hearts. You can come in live to the Zoom room. You can call in on my business line. Just look for the hello avatar, or you can post a comment section. If you post a comment, just let me know if you want a book reading or a card reading. The book, I have a couple different books that we can choose from, and I have 14 different decks that we can choose from. So the variety is there. And so love to hear from you. Get back in here. All right. I'm going to get back to your comments. All right. So 6 minutes, reading room is open. Six minutes, we will be closing. So your time to prospect with me on the many questions, mysteries, phenomenon, metaphysics, ghosts, death, dying, Bigfoot, Loch Ness monsters, UAPs, the secrets that go on up in nature, up in the mountains. There's a lot of things that take place in the mountains that we just still don't understand. So again, a lot of mysteries out there. And if you're curious like me and you want to prospect weekly, you can join me here at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Fridays. Here, make sure to hit that like button or subscribe button for the Intuitive Prospector, because you'll get notifications when I'm live. Or over on my YouTube channel, same thing. You'll get a notification when I've gone live on my YouTube channel. So, all right. Hi, Marie. Marie. Good to see you. Hi, Shanna. So we're doing live readings right now. I'm hoping, again, my surgeries set me back. Again, I've never really had a major surgery. I think I broke my leg when I was 3, but I don't remember it. And I fell out of the tree when I was 5 and had to spend the night in the hospital. But that's the only really times I've really been in the hospital. I broke my nose playing basketball and had to get a surgery on that. That was pretty easy. But these last 8 months with my back surgery and my knee surgery, it's been overwhelming. And I'm hoping, now that I have more time, to run a new format called Experience Theotherapy, which will be focused on mediumship. It will be focused, I'm thinking Mondays is what I'm thinking. I'm not convinced yet. I'm still sitting with that. But Mondays will be like this, and it'll be strictly on mediumship, connecting to those that you love. I do a lot of divine services online, both here in the United States and in the UK, and do mediumship and practice mediumship. But if you're interested in mediumship and the ancient wisdom and the knowledge of mediumship, is something I'm hoping to do in 2025 on Mondays. It'll be the same way. You can come into the Zoom room, you can call in, and we can practice, or you can join my development group, which is on Wednesdays. And that there is a cost for that. It's a quarterly cost that pays for your seat in the Zoom room and gives you access for the 3 months. It's a 3-month commitment. So just think of quarters. There's 4 quarters in a year. So when you commit, well, first you visit, and if the tribe vibes with you and you vibe with the tribe, after your 2 visits, and you decide if you want to join the group, and then every Wednesday we meet via Zoom, and there's homework that you have to do, and there's a closed community page that we all access. There's files. We do cold cases on murder trials and cases. We've done breath work. We've done studies of religions. We've done master classes. We've done, you name it. We've pretty much done it. So it's a good time. I got a great tribe. Love my tribe. All right. So let's see here. Hey, Ray, good to see you. Thanks for being a subscriber. Could I have a book reading, please? You bet. Lori says, may I come on with you? Yeah, come on to the waiting room, Lori, and we'll have a chat. Hi, Farrell. Hi, Rosalita. Hi, Andrea. Hello. So we've got a few minutes left. So, Rafe, I'm going to pick the book for you. You're going to tell me what page number you want. So this is the book, You Were Not Born to Suffer by Mr. Blake Bauer. He was on my podcast some years ago. Maybe I'll get him back in 2025. So, Rafe, when you are ready, tell me what page number you want between 3 and 325, and then we'll read that message based on what you choose. So again, 3 through 325, because the first couple pages are like the intro and who he's thanking, and then the last few pages are like footnote pages and references. But 3 through 325 when you're ready. And then Lori, if you want to come in on video, hit the Zoom link. The Zoom link's up above, or one of my one of my team members could grab that and give that to Lori. She wants to have a chat. You Were Not Born to Suffer by Blake Bauer. Great book, by the way. I've used it for years. All right. So, Rafe, tell me what page number you want, my friend, and we'll read that page for you. 3 through 325. You picked the page. 77. Ooh, 77 is based on truth. You want double truth. All right. So we're gonna go page 77. Okay. So here's page 77 for the analytical mind. And this is what it says. As children, we didn't know how to give ourselves permission to be true to ourselves in every situation. But now we can master this. As adults, it's very common to fear being rejected and abandoned because we subconsciously feared being rejected as children. From the very beginning of life, we learned to choose between our own happiness and pleasing others. It seemed we could not have both. We all learned to fear hurting others, so we hurt ourselves instead. We learn to fear saying no to others, so now we neglect ourselves. Understanding this deep block that keeps so many of us stuck, miserable, or sick is key to overcoming it, because once we're truly aware of this dynamic, we can never forget it completely. This reality is not anyone's fault, but rather something we need to be mindful of now if we want to break the self-destructive cycle and stop settling for crumbs of love, health, happiness, and respect. So interesting, Rafe, that you picked that page. That's the page number, Healing Guilt, Shame, and Insecurity. So think about those words as I read them to you, see where it hits you. If it resonates, great, put in the comments that resonate. If it didn't resonate, just it may unfold over time. Or if it hit you like a gut punch, that means that there's a trigger there, that something that I said triggered you. I'm not intentionally trying to trigger you. But a lot of times when we hear stuff or we have a reading, we can be triggered. And that trigger is the perspective where you need to go deeper. Why did that trigger you? It's usually something from your past, learned behavior, religious upbringing, parent behaviors that you learned growing up. So think about that and see where that resonates for you, Ray. But thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Hi, Chrissy. Hi, Gina. Lori says where? Okay. So scroll up. Hold on. I'll put it in the comment section again. And then I think we'll finish up with Lori here. So thumbs up. I'll put the Zoom link in again. Let's see if it's still there. It is. Okay. So I put thumbs up, avatar, 2 thumbs up. That's the Zoom link. It still should be 2024. I haven't changed the passcode. If 2024 doesn't work, hit 2025, because I've been updating all my Zoom platforms, getting ready for 2025. So that's in there for you. Lori, if you want to come in. Hi, Kivia Johnson. Kivia, am I saying your name right? Apologize if I misspelled it, or if I said your name wrong. I apologize. Gina, hello to you, my friend. How are you, Gina? Rafe says, "Wow, I love that. Thank you so much." And yes, it does resonate. Okay, good. And again, you chose it. You chose the book and the page number, and it either resonates or it resonates down the line. Is what I've found to be true in this work that I've been doing for a while. Hey, Colleen, Kristen, hello to you. So, okay, reading room is open. It's 11:30. So, Lori, if you want to come in, now's the time to do it, hon. Or if anybody has any other questions, phone line is open. You can call my phone line, 206-588-0661. You can come in live to the Zoom room to have a chat. Just turn your volume down or post a comment in the comment section and I'll get to you. And then I got to head over because I got to get my YouTube, my latest YouTube up and running. So make sure to hit my YouTube channel. It's growing. Again, go to my store at marclainhart.com and you get all my events coming up, book a reading, read my latest article, get on my newsletter that I just put out, my latest newsletter that I've been so tardy. When you have surgeries, it takes everything away from you. Your strength, your time, you're trying to heal. So, but I just got my newsletter out, so I hope to get on my newsletter, Soul Adventures. There will be a podcast on the 8th of January. I'll be back. I think I'm the host, and then we have a guest on the 22nd. And I think I'm going to be talking about 2025 on January 8th. I got to think about what I want to say. I've got a lot of stuff written, so but we'll be probably talking about On the Brink 2025 On the Brink, because we are on the verge of just some really great things happening, but also with the balance, the good that happens, there's also the bad that happens, and we will continue to witness bad behaviors, bad decisions, bad choices, political It's going to just be nuts. But again, try to focus on the good that's happening in your day, not the bad. Focus on things that you're grateful for, things that you can appreciate, and then align yourself with people that are like that. I've really worked hard to align myself with people that have more of a positive mind thinking and don't play the victims of life. Oh, this happened to me, blah, blah, blah. No, it's happening for you. Rise above it and choose your best life, right? Find that diamond within. It says it doesn't support me. Well, I don't know what that means, Lori. I've never seen that. I've never had an issue with that. Hi, Ellie. Hi, Hermania. Hi, Fred. Sorry, not working for me. Do you have Zoom downloaded? Are you on your phone, Lori? You have to have Zoom downloaded. But most of the time, I've never seen that. So you did it ask for a passcode? If it asks for a passcode, type in 2024, and if that doesn't work, then type in 2025. But is anybody else want to try to come into the Zoom room just to see if it's working? I can't do it myself because I can't come in. If I go in the Zoom room, then this shuts down, so I can't come in twice. But if somebody else wants to try it to see if the link is working, that would suck if, because I don't know what I don't know. If the Zoom link's not working, I don't know until, somebody like Lori says I can't get in. But I've never had that issue. So a lot of times this is based on you don't have the Zoom platform downloaded or you're on your phone and there's a firewall issue. So hi, Kimberly. Hi, Camille. Try it one more time, Lori. Because again, I want to know, or if anybody else wants to try the link and just come in and say hi, please do so. Hi, Francisca. Just to make sure the link is working. Again, I don't think I changed my time set for 2024 passcode. I did for my development group because I have that throughout the year. So that is now set to 2025, but we don't meet until January 1st. So, but this one still should be 2024. I haven't updated this one. So I'm curious. Hi, Kelly. I'm just curious if the Zoom link is working. So Lori, let me know. Sorry, I'm just not good at this stuff. I probably don't have it downloaded. Okay. So try to get it downloaded. It's a free, just go to the store, the app store, or just go to Zoom and download Zoom. You can do it both on your phone and your computer. It's free. It doesn't take up a lot of space. But yeah, usually you just click on the link and it will bring you in even on your phone. I found Zoom to be I started using Zoom way before the pandemic. My development group actually got me on Zoom probably like 7 or 8 years ago. She's been doing development group for at least 9. So yeah, so I'm sorry, Lori, that's not working. You can call me too if you want to call me, 206-588-0661. That's the alternative if Zoom's not working. Or put it in the comment section and we'll wrap up with you. So hi, Bill. Hi, Barbara. Barbara Miller. Hi, Taylor Carter. Lisa Brown is watching. Kelly Brown. Is Lisa Brown and Kelly Brown, are you related? Same last name? No? So, all right, last call. Reading room is going to close. Zoom room is open. Again, I'd love it if somebody could just come in and just say hi. Click on the link to see if it's working, but I think Lori doesn't have the Zoom platform downloaded. That's why she is not able to come in. But it's usually pretty simple. You click on the Zoom link, either on your desktop or your phone. If it asks for a passcode, you put in the year, which is 2024, and it brings you in, and we have a chat, and we have fun, and we go prospecting. Hi, Monica. Everybody's shy. Nobody wants to come talk in the Zoom room with me. Hi, Raul. Love to just say hi. Tell me where you're from. Come in and just say, hi, Mark, I'm from such and such. And you can ask me for art or all right, here's Gina. All right, so let's admit Gina. Let's have a chat with Gina. So Lori, go get the Zoom platform and see if you can download it. Because I want to see. So Gina's on the road, so I'm going to ask her to unmute. So be careful while you're driving. Hope you're not driving.
No, I'm not driving. But
okay.
Mark, I wanted to show you that, yeah, I just clicked on the link and I got in. I didn't have a problem.
Okay, thank you so much. And you're on your mobile phone, so it works with desktop and or mobile. And I find it to be very easy. So I think Lori just hasn't downloaded. That's why she can't get it, because you've got it downloaded, obviously, on your phone.
This is my work one, yeah.
Yeah, where are you at in the world?
Huh?
Where are you at in the world?
Boston, Massachusetts.
Boston, Massachusetts. Wicked. I love Boston. Lived there for 3 years. So
wicked nice. And we're wicked smart.
You're wicked smart. You are wicked smart. Happy holidays to you, my friend. Do you want a reading real quick? Do you want any message since you're here?
So Mark, I'm going through this terrible turmoil at work, and I gotta beat it.
Okay. All right. Well, take a deep breath, because you're going to beat it with breath and mindfulness in your choices. Tell me what number you want, 1 through 14.
Number 7, please.
No, number 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is the numerology deck. Okay.
Yep.
So take a nice deep breath, set your intention. When you hear the word stop in your mind, say it out loud and we'll talk about that.
Okay. Stop.
Here's your card. Forgiveness. Ooh, 96. So 9 is completion, right? Because we're moving into the year of the 9, 2025. 6 is compassion for self, compassion for others, compassion for the planet, right? And then 9 plus 6 equals 15, right? 1 plus 5 equals 6. So we're back to compassion for self. But forgiveness, and the one thing I always say, Gina, is when you are not forgiving somebody, it keeps them in power of your mindset. It keeps them in power of energy. So unforgiveness keeps them in control, is what I'm saying. So forgive whatever you need to forgive, and you'll have freedom from that.
No, I got you, Marc, and I agree with you. How do you deal with that? Like people being.
Yeah, you froze for a second. So say that one more time. You froze.
Okay. So when somebody's really, really mean, how do you forgive?
So for me, how I would approach that, they're being mean to me because they're unhappy with themselves. So I put the perspective back. They're being mean and unfriendly and unkind because there's something in their life and they're just either taking it out on me or I'm the closest person they can talk to. And so I just say, you know what? They're having their own journey. They're having their own. I forgive them and I let go, and I don't react to that. I try not to react. I try to observe versus absorb that. And I just usually put it back that it's something they need to figure out. And we have a lot of unhappy people around the world, right? We're in unhappy times in our society, and so there's just a lot of people that are unhappy. And then I just take that deep breath, that divine breath, and I let it go. I let it flow in, and then I just let it go and flow out. That's how I work with forgiveness. But unforgiveness keeps them in control of you. So forgive them, let them go, and let them, deal with their stuff in whatever way.
Now I have to. So all the stuff that they did to me, I have to deal with it, and I'm trying to forgive, but it's like, why did they do it to me?
One, we're humans, and try to change your words to say they did it to you. That's a victim mentality. Change it. They did it for you, which is more of a superhero, because you're going to rise above this and you're going to have a different perspective. So it didn't happen to you; it happened for you. And how can you navigate and make better decisions? Sometimes you have to just grow and that fruit falls away. The tree, you may have to cut off branches, but you need to continue to grow and stay after what you want, what's important, Gina, because life is so very short and so very fragile. Don't get caught up on the minutia of people's stuff at a lower vibration level. Rise above that and say, that's happening for me. I'm not going to lower myself to your energy or to your mindset because I'm better than that. I'm not better than you, but I'm better than that based on me. That's how I would approach it. That's how I do it. Trust me, I get a lot of arrows thrown at me by the work I do as a medium, as a psychic, as an intuitive. I get a lot of opinions. A lot of, people have told me I work for, Satan, that I'm a demon. It's like, really? That's, so I understand. But again, these arrows bounce off of me and I don't absorb them. I've observed them. I'm like, well, you're entitled to your opinion, but your opinion does not control my life, and I will rise above. So it's happening for you, not to you. Right?
I got you, Marc. Thank you for
that. Appreciate you.
Thank you. I honor you every day.
Oh, thanks, my dear. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so the link is working, Lori, so you can see that Gina came in from her car on her mobile. There was one other person that came in. If you want to come in, I'll stay on. If you want to have a chat, you came in, you were in the waiting room, but then you dropped out. You come back. Okay, there. Oh, I think she did it. Let's see. Let's admit her. I'll stay on if you want to come in and have a chat. So I see phone Lori, so this might be her trying to connect. Okay, there she is. Let's see if she has audio. Hello, happy holidays. Hi, Lori. You're on. Can you hear me? Doesn't look like you have a microphone. So let's see here. Swipe on your phone. So it looks like you're on a phone. So swipe over and look for a microphone to activate your microphone. So we're going to get you here. So swipe left or swipe right, and you'll see some icons for a little red microphone. And I'll know you hit it because it'll come on next to your name. Yep, you're connecting to audio, so you found it. And in just a sec, you're gonna see down in the lower box, you're gonna see a microphone. It might have a line through it, which means you're muted. And then, okay, connected to audio. Now, see, there's a little red microphone. There's a line through it. So click on that and hit unmute. I'm going to ask you to unmute, and let's see if we can do this for you. You may get a notification from me. There you are.
Yay.
Hey,
Right.
you made it. You did it.
I did it.
Well, welcome, welcome.
Thank you.
You have to have the Zoom platform downloaded on your phone and your desktop.
Yeah, I managed it. Thank
Well,
you so much for helping me.
you're welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm just feeling a little down about my daughter. I know I wasn't ready to come on, but I think a lot of people are not. This is just kind of meant to be, because I wasn't ready or anything, but the universe makes things ready, right?
Yeah, we're never ready, right?
Right.
We have
It's
to
a
just
second year without my beloved daughter, Stephanie, and she passed away in front of me. And she was, the cops asked me, would someone like to murder your daughter? And when I told them the name, they said, don't go there. And I found out that girl's like an informer for the police. So I'm just really missing my daughter every day. And I just don't really understand. And I'm having a hard time moving forward without her. And my son is just devastated, and
yeah.
I
So
just don't understand it. She was only 34, and that girl, the one girl who she hung out with since she knew, she got her on some drugs, and then she said, "Oh, my daughter told me that she was being disloyal because she didn't go there on Christmas, and she said, tell your mom hi." And I don't even know that girl, but I know they've known each other since they were little. And the cops won't even do anything about it. And that girl has done other terrible things to kids around that town. And they're First Nation. I don't know what that has to do, but maybe there's not enough, respect for First Nation. I don't know, but a lot of them are being murdered from my town, and the cops aren't doing anything about it because this girl is an informer. So I'm just really lost. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to be healthy, but it's just so hard for me.
Okay. Well, let's pause there. Let's take a deep breath, because all we have is right now, right? We have the magic in the moment, and I can relate to where you're coming from, not from the First Nation, but from the murder, because my little brother was murdered.
Yeah, doesn't matter if you're First Nation or not. It just seems to be a lot of them are disappearing in my
Well,
town.
no, I think to disagree with you, I think First Nation has a lot to do, because there is a history there with
Yeah,
Indigenous.
with the missing, murdered.
I just watched a documentary on the nations up in Canada, where they were, the Catholic schools were actually killing the Indigenous, trying to re-educate them to the new way. What was that called? It was on Netflix. It was called
Yeah, that's close to a town where I live in Kamloops, where I was born. They
yeah.
found all those children, and then one of
Yep.
the guys said the Queen and the King came there, and
The
and
Pope
then he passed away in the hospital.
Yeah, the Pope came to apologize and met with
Yeah,
his sister. So I can't remember it's a documentary. It's on Netflix. It's I just watched it. But what I'm saying is there's a history of injustices done to the Indigenous Native American people of our past, right? It's something that we have to have conversations moving forward. I do
yeah.
know, that is taking place with First Nation all around, not just in the United States, but up in Canada, and that still goes. To say the police aren't doing anything, I think sometimes they can't do until they actually have evidence to proceed, especially when it's a murder.
But the cop came up to me and asked me who would want to murder your daughter for what they found in her. So
right.
when I mentioned her name, all he said is, "Don't go there."
Okay. Well, that goes back to my discussions of people not trusting institutions, not trusting government, not trusting police, because of these things that have been going on for a long time. I can tell you from my perspective, the detectives, I didn't know who killed my brother for 4 months after he was murdered. He was murdered over marijuana, right? Execution style. But we didn't have closure or any suspects for 4 months. So they work behind the scenes, cold cases, they keep information, but they need evidence in order to secure a guilty verdict, right? So just be patient with that. But what I want to go back to is I want to go back to your daughter, Stephanie, because you said she's gone, she's not with you. And I want to change your perspective on that, because I personally believe that she is with you. You just have to look with new eyes to see her. You're not going to see her here. You're not going to see her. It's very rare to see the spirit person objectively, which means you're seeing them with your physical eye. I've been doing this and I've done thousands of readings, and I could probably say 10 times I've seen the spirit world with my objective. It becomes a subjective of how they connect with you. And if you followed my path, Lori, so you know what I teach on signs,
Yes.
symbols, synergy, and synchronicities. So what I want to challenge you to do, because you're still honoring your grief and you're going through the grief of losing your daughter in the physical, but she's only ever a thought away. And if you start to set the intentions that you want to connect with her, I want you to look for other means of communicating with her. It could be through nature. It could be through a book. It could be through a movie. An example I'll give you, I just did a master class on manifesting, and at the end of the class, she turned the recording off and she said, I've never really talked with the medium, but I feel like I need to ask you this question. And I said to her, well, I know that you've got a mom in the spirit world and a daughter or a sister in the spirit world. And she goes, no, I'm the only child. And I said, well, your mom actually had a miscarriage. And she shows the daughter next to me. And she goes, oh, yeah, she did have a miscarriage. And she goes, I didn't think about it that way. And I said, well, I want you just to pay attention to the trees outside your window. I could see trees. She was in Oregon. I could see trees. And I said, I see two eagles that are going to present themselves to you, not right now, but down the road, because some of the best evidence comes after the reading. She goes, okay. And you can kind of tell she was skeptical. And she goes, I got to go to an appointment. Well, 2 hours later, she writes me an email and says, Mark, I got home, and guess what? There was two eagles in my tree. And I sat there and watched them until they flew off. And I said, well, that could be a coincidence, or I was just a good guesser. But at the same time, your mom's not a bird and your sister's not a bird, but it triggered your mind to think of your mom and your sister you never met. So what I'm saying for you, Lori, is I want you to start looking for Stephanie with new eyes, new ways of thinking, because you won't see her here. And that's what we always want to see it here. And it's very rare. But when you start to unlock that mystery door of death and dying, you realize that they're on the other side, but they're still part of our world, right? Because heaven isn't up and hell isn't down, because there is no up or down on a round planet. We're on a round planet, so you can't go up or down. So you realize it's a world within a world, and heaven isn't a location. Heaven is a vibration. So change your mindset to want to connect with her. Say, Stephanie, show me something. What Mark is talking about.
Yeah,
show me.
she does show me messages for sure. I get them all the time.
When
But
she
it just, I think what I'm asking the question is, when she passed, she would probably knew I was there. And I just want to get a message from her that everything's going to be okay.
Okay. Yeah. So what I feel with that, based on that question, she said, why wouldn't everything be okay?
Because I miss her so much.
Right? And that's grief, right? That's the proof of love, right? That's proof of love that you miss her. But she would make me feel like, why wouldn't everything be okay? Because your grief is proof that you love her and you miss her.
Yeah, but I could have probably tried to save her.
No, we try to do that as humans, but we all have our own contract. We all have our period of when we incarnate and we decarnate. You don't, as the mom, and I know this because I've lost 2 brothers, so my parents have had to bury 2 children. We don't get it. Life doesn't ask us what we want, right? Life dictates. It takes the saints and the sinners regardless, and you wouldn't have been able to change the outcome. But you were with her when she passed, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were with her?
Yes, I was with her.
That's a beautiful moment. It's a pain. I call it the beautiful pain because it's a pain of losing the child to the spiritual world, but it's the beauty to help her transfer through that portal to the next.
But I could have worked on her chest more. But I think that meant that stuff that girl gave her probably would have killed her really fast.
I don't feel like working on the chest. And trust me, I as a retired firefighter EMT, I've done lots of CPR and I brought people back and I've seen people move on. There's nothing you could have done to change the outcome.
Because she had that's why that police said to me, do you know someone who'd want to murder your daughter?
Yeah.
And she did that because of her love for me, because I tried to talk to that girl and she just kept saying some weird stuff. And then she knew that my daughter and me had a close relationship. And she said, I hate my mother. So I'm sure my daughter died because of my love for her.
Yeah, I wouldn't put that guilt on you. That's you're working through the grief, right? And you're taking responsibility of something that's not your responsibility.
What I could have did, would have did.
You can go to the what if world all day long, right, Lori? But what if this, what if that? No.
Yeah.
You haven't lost her. That's what I'm trying to change your mindset. She's only ever a thought away. She's very close to you now, closer in death than she ever would be in life. And that love does not dissipate. That love does not go away. That love is endless. That love is eternal. And I want you to ask her to give you, it could be a dream. It could be something in nature like the eagles I was talking about. But I want you to ask her to give you a sign to help you with your grief, so you start to honor your grief and know that she's still a part of you to help you get through this next section of your life, because that's what the spirit world does. And there's a lot of energy around that. There's a lot of unknowns that we will maybe never know Was she murdered? Why she was murdered? But focus on your connection to her and knowing that she's okay. And there's nothing you could have done. It was her time to go. And we can't take ownership of that, right? We
Right.
come into the world alone.
I
So
guess
shall
I have so much guilt on that. So
you need to
she
work.
was my baby. She was my everything.
Still
That
is.
whole house where I live revolves around her, everything. I go
So
in her room, it still smells like her.
I want you to change your words. She was, you keep using past tense was. She is your daughter. She
Yeah,
is,
she is.
right? She is.
There's
You're
the cat.
talking to her in real time. Hi. Who's that?
There's Pony.
Who's that?
He's looking for her all the time. He was waiting
Well,
by the door. I think he stares at things, and then I'm pretty sure she's around because he'll stare right at that place by the door for like a long time.
yeah. Cats are very spiritual. I have a cat.
Yeah.
They've known in Egyptian lore as guardians of the tomb, to help people transfer over.
Yeah, well, this was her cat. So he was number one is his mom.
Yeah.
So he still cries for her at night, wakes me up.
Or he's talking to her.
Oh, is that what he's doing?
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's crying for her. I think that, I think animals see differently than us, and I think that
Yeah.
pets can definitely be in tune to the spirit world.
Yeah.
So
Well, he's been a savior for me, this guy.
What's that?
He's been a real savior for me because he's my daughter's cat. So
Well,
he's been real good, like for my stress.
The cool thing about cats too is their purring, they can actually align to our heart rhythm. So if it gets up on your chest and starts purring, that's actually a healing moment. They actually can, cats can heal based on their vibration of their purr. So just pay attention to the cat. If the cat is meowing and calling out, then say hi to your daughter. Talk to her like she's still here. That's the one thing I'm hearing is you're not talking to her like you feel like she's gone, but you can talk to her like she's still here.
Yeah.
So say those words out loud. Hi, Stephanie. I hear you.
Hi, Steph. Love you, my girl.
Talk to the world, the spirit world. Just because we don't see it does not mean it's not here. We know that to be true by science. Microscope, telescope, the spiritual world is no different. Just because we don't see it does not mean it's not here. So I want you to change your perspective. And
like you were talking today, change your thought pattern. Change.
You change the way you look at things, the things you look at start to change, and
that's what you said.
Free, because you're not going to hold on to that guilt and that what if world of what Stephanie's world should have or should not have been. That's going to help you to honor your grief and move into forgiveness for self because it wasn't your responsibility. Her life was her own. That wasn't your responsibility, and you can't own that. That's not yours to own. So we can really do that as humans. We tend to do that, but as a spiritualist, you got to know that she's very much alive, just in a different way. And I'm going to help you with eyes.
Well, I was even nervous to come on, but Spirit kept saying you need to go on. So I said, well, help me get on. So here I am, and thank you. Do you have any message from her?
I keep, the one thing is, because I knew you were going to ask that, the one thing I keep seeing is a dream catcher. Do you have a dream catcher?
I bought her a new dream catcher every year.
Okay, so that's the message. So keep catching those dreams, and if you keep buying her the dream catcher, just because she's gone doesn't mean you have to.
I have bought her one when I went to a hair show a couple of years ago in Alberta. That's where my ancestors are from. And I haven't been back there in 20 years, and I still bought her one and put it on her memorial thing I made her. And so she loved her dream catchers very much.
Sorry, see what I'm saying? That was either the message from your daughter through me as a medium or as a really good catcher, and I don't believe in guessing anymore. I heard the word dream catcher. She said, tell mom dream catcher. And that gives me, but my hair stands up, the clairsentient. To me, that's a glimmer that I know that that's the right message. And so you keep buying her dream catchers, but you also pay attention to your dreams and write a dream journal because you can connect with her through the dream catcher.
Okay.
But dream catcher is your message for today. All right, my friend?
All right. Thank you so much, Mark. I appreciate that.
One day at a time.
Me into the new year. I've just been so down. So I thought, well, and the Spirit's always been telling me to try to talk to you, like to get on and try, but I'm kind of shy. I don't know my device is very good, and
awesome.
I believe things are meant to be. So thank you very much, Mark.
You're very welcome. And again, one day at a time. She's very much alive. She's only ever a thought away. And the last thing I'll tell you, Lori, live for her. You'll see her again. Goodbye. But live for her. It's a blessing to get older because this is something to die. My brother was only 21 when he was murdered. It's a blessing for us to get older, but live for those that have gone on ahead of us, knowing that you'll see them again. Okay, my friend?
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Happy
Okay.
holidays.
Bye, Pony. Say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome,
Bye,
Lori.
Mark.
Bye-bye. All right, y'all. So that is real time. That's not scripted. That's coming into the Zoom room, asking a question. Like I said, as the medium, do I get everything right? No, but there are certain things that I just know to be true. And I knew that the dream catcher, because I could feel it. You wouldn't be able to see it because my hair stands up. I get this warmth, this I call the glimmer. And that's just for me, because I knew she was going to ask, does my daughter Stephanie have a message? They always have a message. The question is, are we trained to hear it? Are we trained to see it? Right? We have 3 eyes in life, 2 to look, 1 to see. And that's just a great example. The eagle story that I had with the lady last week, talking about the eagles in the tree, and then she literally wrote me an email like 2 hours later. And if I had $1 for every email I got or every call, like, Mark, you're not going to believe what happened. Yes, because I'm giving you the message. You have to be able to be open to receive it and look for it, not look for it, hear it, not hear it, right? Hear it with your higher senses, and honor your grief. We're not responsible for other people's journeys and contracts, right? We come in at a certain time and we exit. And I talked about this, I think last week. There's on average every single day there's 150,000 people. Let me see if I still have the statistics, because I did a show on that. Bear with me, because I want to say it right. Yeah, I did some research. On average, approximately around the globe, there's 150,000 people every single day that die, each and every day. Don't open their eyes. There's 150,000 people, right? And that estimate can be based on population growth, health crisis like COVID, changes in mortality rates, like the tsunami that hit back in like 2004 that killed 225,000 people. Those are variances, right? But on average, there is 150,000 people every single day that transition from this incarnate physical form into the decarnate spiritual form, whatever your belief systems are, right? But if we break that down, that means that there's 6,300 deaths per hour. And when I've been on, 105 deaths per minute around the world. So think about that. So you don't know when your journey is going to end, but we can't take responsibility for other souls, right? Like I don't have the power, and I know some people charge just ridiculous amounts of money to go into a house to clear the spirit. I don't have that power to move a spirit into the other side. We can set the intention and pray and hope that they do. You can cleanse the area with sage for the energy, right? The vibration, you can clear those out. But to say that I can move a soul over based on free will and choice, I've just never really subscribed to that, right? Because I'm a soul myself, right? And it's based on free will and choice is your greatest responsibility. So that's an example of coming in into the Zoom room live and Sharon. You can tell she's nervous, and you might be nervous. That's okay. I'm human. I'm just like you. I just have a different set of abilities that has grown over time through my education, my mentorship, through the TNT, the trauma and tragedy that changed my life at the age of 27. Doesn't have to be woo, doesn't have to be weird, doesn't have to be strange. We work with spirituality, we work with science, and we work with our experiences. And for her, it was the dream catcher. I didn't know that she bought a dream catcher every year for her birthday and lay it on her grave. I wouldn't know that. That's the first time I've talked to Lori on video. So again, there's either really good guessing at this, or there is actually evidence and proof of life after death through communications through the medium. So that's what I would say to you. So thank you, Lori, for coming in. Appreciate you. Let me give some more shout outs. I'll stay on just a little bit longer since that was a great reading. I love doing this work to help people. A lot of people have tuned in. Holy smokes, since I was doing that. Let me see. Let me catch back up. So I'll give you some shout out. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Oh my God. You guys are awesome. How many people are on? Wow. You guys are amazing. So you can call in 206-588-0661. Hit the Zoom link. I know that it works because I've had 2 people come in. It should bring you right in on your mobile or your desktop, or you can post a comment in the comment section. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anybody in the comment section before I get off here. But I have to scroll away because there was a ton of people coming in here. So Lisa Brown, Bill Journey, hi Barbara Miller, hi Taylor Carter, hi Monica Sanchez, Raul, Diana Dupree, Deborah, Cassie, hello to you, Ruth, hello to you, Nomi Cardona, hello to you, Karina, hello to you. I'll get my son to help me when he gets home from work. Okay, so she figured it out. Hi Steve Smith, Lulu Gomez, hello to you. Richard Iga, hello to you. Mia, hello. Saying hello to Mark. Hello. Hi, Paul Jones. Jenny Baden. Stephanie McCarl, hello to you. Lindsay Wagner, hello to you. Brian Glaze, hi. Lone, hello to you. Melissa, hello. Vero, hello. Jen Peters, hello. Veronica. Ruta, hello to you. Farid, hello to you. Anne, hello to you. Hazel, hello to you. Coke Urs, COCURZ, I apologize if I'm saying your name wrong, but hello to you. Hi, Maddie. Hidel, Taryn, hello to you. Dawn, hi, Dawn. Hi, Maria. Hi, Fanny. Hi, Christian. Or Christine, sorry, Christine White, hi, sorry. Greg, hi to you. Taneri Phillips, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. Hello to you. Kelly Flowers, Christina, Nicola White, hello to you. Denise, hello to you. Mona, hello to you. Lisa, and Andreas Larson, hello to you. Sab Lingner, hello to you. Kisawa, hello to you. Priscilla, hi. Litton, hi. Nicole, hi. Di, hi. Valerie, hello to you. Monica, Aura, Ingles. Melissa Warren, hello to you. Rebecca, watching. Hi, Rebecca. David, Anna, hello to you. Diana, hello. Oh, Diana Bagley, who's going to be visiting us in group next week. Hi, Diana. Welcome. Tammy Thompson, hello to you. Danielle Burdick, hello to you. Lisa, hello. Sarah, hello. Courtney, hello. Emma, hello. Ellie, hello. Starsky Conway, hello to you. Jill, hello to you. Carlos, hi. Brooke, Bellrock is watching, hello to you. Allison Price and Alicia Ann, hello to both of you. Kriza, hello to you. Angel, hello to you. Polo, hello. Luis, hello. Karina, Kristen Smith, hello. Ray Herod, is it Rhea or Ray Herod? Sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. Hello to you. Brianna, Amo, hello to you. Mitzi, hi Mitzi. Colleen, hello to you. Debbie, hi. Alicia, hi. Jasmine, hi. Liga, hi. Annie Claude, hi. Jane Callahan, hi. And Marilyn Susie, hi. Well, hi to all of you. A lot of people watching today, interacting, love it. I'm here on Fridays. Next Friday, if you're a subscriber, Diamonds Hub, you can get all the information here at marclainhart.com. Diamonds Hub and Patreon Prospectors are my two subscription services. If you want to get on, I'll be doing Diamonds Days next Friday, which is free readings for all my subscribers, just kind of like what you witnessed today. And again, it can be everything from psychic to mediumship to we could do a meditation, we could work breath work, we could do a prayer, you know, whatever's going on, however I can help you on your journey. But I appreciate all of you tuning in today. Wow, a lot of people, a lot of comments. Hi, Tala, hello to you. You can go over to my YouTube channel and catch the latest video where I talked about secrets of our universe. If you want to catch the latest YouTube video that I just uploaded, love to have you join, subscribe to the YouTube channel. But other than that, I'm off for the rest of this week until New Year's, and then I'll be back. The calendar will be open if you want to book a reading. It's already filling up, but love to prospect with you and explore the journeys and the mysteries and unknowns of life and living and death. And like I said, 150,000 people each day around the world die. That's 6,300 deaths per hour, and that's 105 deaths per minute. So life is precious. Take advantage of Carpe Diem. All right. Hi, Angel. Hi, Anne and Annie Macy. Hi to you. Thanks for being here. So I'll do last call because I'm having so much fun. If you want a reading room is open. Zoom link is up above. If you can, the call-in line is up above 206-588-0661, or you can post a comment and ask for a card reading or a book reading. Love to do at least one more reading before I close out. I love what I do. So Jordan, hi. So any other messages? If I did miss your message or you did ask for something and I did not respond to you, I apologize. Sometimes we don't see all the comments based on Facebook's algorithm. If I missed your question, go ahead and put bump with an asterisk. The bump indicates that I did miss you, and then put your question again because there's just too many comments. We've got, by the time the show's over, we have over 100 some comments. So if I did miss you, put bump asterisk, bump star, ask your question again, and then that way I know that I did miss you. If I've already worked with you, thank you for coming in. I just one message per person. I worked with a few of you, book reading, card reading, live interaction on the Zoom. Nobody called in though today. That's surprising. Usually I get somebody to call in. So any other questions or any other comments or concerns or feedback? Hi, Shelby. Hi, Karina. Good to see you. Hi, Jordan Jackson Wilburn. Hello to you. Hello, Fabulo Munez Salazar. Fabolia. Fabolia. I love that. I wish somebody could. I wish I could have like an interaction. Hi, Eric. Where your name comes on, but I could actually hear it, like so I can pronounce it correctly because I'm sure I just decimated that name, so I apologize. And you'd think I know how to pronounce names because I do speak Spanish and I do speak English, but some of these names, like when it's all just the symbols, I have no way. I don't know how to read Arabic. I don't know how to read some of these names, so I just say hi and just say all symbols. You know who you are. So, okay, last call, last call, last call. Any other requests before I close out? So I'll be back next Friday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the Intuitive Prospector page. Make sure to get that subscribe button or like so you can get notifications when I'm live, either here on Facebook Live or YouTube Live on my YouTube channel, Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, also known as Soul Adventures. We'll be back Friday, January 3rd for Diamonds Day. That's I'll do the show and then I end early to go over and at 11:30 Pacific Standard Time and 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. 2 Zoom links on those pages where you can come in and get free readings or guidance or inspiration, whatever it is you were looking for. So hi, Michelle Ward. Hi, Carlos. A lot of people tune in. So it's great to see you. Happy holidays to all of you. I don't see any other messages coming in. Hi, Megan, Malcolm. Hi, Carlos. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Again, my name is Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, where I am always curious about the unknowns and mysteries and phenomenon of life, from everything from Bigfoot to extra dimensional beings to mediumship to spirituality to science, metaphysics to death and dying to heaven and hell and everything in between. So again, I appreciate you all being here today. Been fun working. Hi, Monica. So I'll start to close out. Let me get a song to close us out with. The song that I did open up with, I forgot to say, was Diamonds. Let's see here. Diamonds on the Vine by Ari Lance, because all my music is copyright free. It's approved by Meta. I have a sound collection approved by Meta for my podcast, for this show, and my YouTube channel. They're all royalty free, trademark free. They can be control of the artist and the content, which sometimes they do on YouTube, which is fine, but there's no penalties to me. But I like to call them out. And then the other one was let's see here, Diamonds on the Vine by Ari Lands, and I apologize, I think it was Nirvana by Brent Burgos, is what I played in the opening song. So just so y'all know, my music is always copyright free, trademark free. So I try to call out the artist. So if you ever want to look them up, you can go get their content, their music on Spotify or whatever, wherever they're selling their music. So hi, Zuma. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Camilla. Good to see you all. So I don't see any book comments come in, so I must have gotten to everybody. So everybody must be satisfied. I got to all of you. We did a couple Zoom readings, couple comments, book readings and card readings. I hope you have a great 2025. We're saying goodbye to 2024, the year of the 8. We work and transition into the year of 2025, which is the year of 9, which is all about completion, compassion, creativity, the year of the snake, flexibility, letting go of old skin to grow new skin. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for being here. Hi, Camellia. So I'm going to close this. Oh, what's a fun song to close us out with? How about, let me cue up the song here. So I'm going to close with Veronica May. It's called Show Us Who You Are. So I hope that 2025 is a year of revealing who you are as a human, who you are on the higher self, and who you hope to be in 2025. So I appreciate every single one of you that's tuned in today. Hi, Martha. Hi, Monica. Appreciate all of my subscribers. Thanks for being here today. I'll be back next Friday. Next podcast is January 8th, Inspired Living. You can get Inspired Living wherever you get your favorite podcast from. We are now also streaming through Audible, and we are also streaming through Alexa. You just say, Alexa, open up Inspired Living podcast, and that will play the last show we did, which I don't remember. I kind of lose track over time. So I have a team to keep me in line, so which I appreciate and love. Hi, Alan. Hi, Patrick. Hi, Howard. So thanks for being here. I will close this out with show us who you are. And I hope you have a happy new year and a great 2025. I will see you next year. And until that time, be kind, be caring, be compassionate in life and what you're doing. And most importantly, wherever you're out in this world, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. And I hope that you will discover that diamond within, and that you'll discover the many hidden gems that are all around us if we just take the time and dedication to look and see what is seen by the human eye and what is seen by the third eye. So I appreciate all of you. Have a great, happy new year. I hope you had a great Christmas, happy holidays. And I'll leave us with a few diamonds on the journey and close this out with show us who you are. Namaste, Namago. Take care.
Sitting in the sunshine, some on my mind. I gotta tell you now, you're gonna hear it somehow. Baby, you're the sunshine, every single giving ray. Baby, you're the whole pie, down to the last slice. Baby, you're the flame, dreams are made of. Don't be afraid to show it up, show it up. Show us who you are. When I see you in the shadows, I wanna help you feel the rays. When I see you in the shallows, like a deep in your soul, show you the way. You are the star of your movie, you are the one in control. You're gonna get tired of holding on, so baby, let go, let go. Baby, you're the sunshine, every single giving ray. Baby, you're the whole pie, down to the last slice. Baby, you're the flame, dreams are made of. Don't be afraid to show it off, show it off. Show us who you are. Sitting on the front line, one anything got my back. Love is about a line, does it under attack? What we gotta fight for, we all want a little bit in this lifetime. Love is not a battlefield, love is a lifeline. Baby, you're the sunshine, baby, you're the sunshine. Every single giving, every single day. Baby, you're the whole pie, baby, you're the whole pie. Down to the last side, down to the last slide. Baby, you're the flame, baby, you're the flame. Dreams are made of. Don't be afraid to show it off, show it off. Show us who you are. Baby, you're the sunshine, sunshine. Baby, you're the rain, baby, you're the whole pie, down to the last side. Baby, you're the whole thing, you're the thing. Dreams are made of, dreams are made of. Don't be afraid to show it off, show it off. Show us who you are.
One planet, 7.3 billion people, only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart, the intuitive prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.